Welcome back to day 9 of the Australian Open 2020. In this video I'm going to be previewing the last two men's quarterfinals that will take place tomorrow. The first match I'm going to look at is Thiem Wawrinka against Zverev. Starting with Wawrinka, he obviously had a very tough spell out with injury in 2018. Returning in 2019 he struggled for form, fitness and confidence. He dropped outside the top 200, which is very hard to believe for a player of Thiem's ability. Over the last 6 months he's really come fighting back to form. He had a good run at the Australian Open before losing to Daniel Medvedev, who went on to reach the final obviously. And this week in the Australian Open, Thiem's looked back to his real best, back to that form in 2014 when he won the Australian Open title. He obviously avenged that defeat to Medvedev earlier this week in 5 sets. That was probably my favourite match of the tournament so far. Just a few words on that match. It was Thiem was relentless, just unplayable at times in that first and fifth set in particular. He was tying the ball so well. He was serving winner aces, hitting winners from all angles on forehand and backhand, and even a player with the defence as good as Medvedev's. Obviously we know he's a fantastic all-round player, world number 4, and even he couldn't live with Thiem. He was just absolutely relentless, as I say. The ground strokes that Thiem was hitting in them first and fifth sets, I don't think anybody in the world could have lived with. There was vulnerability shown in Thiem's game. He was quite inconsistent in this match, and in the sets that Medvedev only made a lot of errors on both wings, did Wawrinka, perhaps trying to win the points too early, and that will give Zverev hope in this one. But obviously Wawrinka does bring a lot of Grand Slam experience to the table, which Zverev doesn't. Looking at Zverev, as I've said a number of times this week, I thought he was very clever in the way that he took the pressure off himself. He obviously didn't have a good start at 2020 at the ATP Cup. He actually lost 3 matches there, and he came to this tournament with absolutely no expectations on his back. He said in the press conference before the tournament that he was hoping just to win a match or two, and that he wasn't really expecting to go far at all in the tournament. He moves on now to the quarter-final, and he's the only player left in the draw yet to drop a set. I think he's looked fantastic this week when you consider the last 18 months that Sasha's had. He really does look back to his best and back to that player that we all thought he could be a few years ago. He's serving over at 70% the first serve, which I think is drastically helping his game. It's just giving him extra control in points. It's allowing him to gain authority early in rallies on his serve and hold serve a lot easier, and it's taking the pressure off his game, I believe. When he wasn't serving well over the past couple of years, I just felt that he was constantly under pressure on serve, and it was forced him to try and rush points, try and make up for that missed serve by hitting winners too early in rallies. He was missing his backhand and forehand by somewhere a lot of the time. And I think Zverev's a better player from the back of the court when he's rallying, changing up the pace and just being patient, picking the right moments to unleash that forehand or backhand down the line, which he's very good at. So looking at Zverev's run, yeah, he's had a fantastic run, as I say. He's had to drop the set, and I'm sure he'll go into this match full of confidence. Stan's 34-year-old now. We all know how good he is at these type of matches. Stan, he's got great Grand Slam experience. He's obviously won 3 Grand Slam titles. Not something Zverev can bring to the table, but you've got to get there at some point, and there's no reason why Zverev couldn't win this one. As for Zverev, what do I think he has to do to win this match? As I've talked about his serve already, I think you need to keep serving consistently at above a 70%. Wawrinka will obviously target that second serve. We know Wawrinka likes to really gain initiative early in rallies. He likes to use that backhand off the return, hit it deep, hit it wide, and really get his opponent on the run. For Zverev, I think it's just about sticking to plan A, stick what's went right this tournament so far. As I say, he hasn't dropped a set, so whatever his game plan has been this tournament, it's clearly worked. I think just be patient. Stan made a lot of errors in the matches against Sepi and Medvedev, and I think to do that you just need to be patient, just keep the ball in court, keep Stan playing the extra ball and try and wear him down. He is 34 now. He has I don't think he's was back to full fitness at the end of 2019. He's obviously had a good off season when you judge how well he's looked this 2020 so far, but he has played 2 long 5-setters against Sepi and Medvedev, whereas Zverev's yet to drop a set. He's spent a lot less time on court. If he can keep Stan on the run, concentrate on the move, keep playing the long rallies, then maybe Stan will tire after 4 or 5 sets. And that's how I think Zverev wins this one. Just be patient, as I say in rallies, keep the points long. I think the longer the points go on, that the more it be backing Zverev. Zverev's made very little unforced errors in any match really this tournament, and Stan can't say that. And I just think Zverev can just keep the ball in court, get the rallies over 10 or 11 shots, and just hope Stan isn't at his relentless best. Hope he doesn't hit the lines every backhand that he goes for. As for Stan, how do I think he wins this match? Zverev, he has to serve well. I think at this level now, quarter-final stages, when you're up against the top 10 in the world, you have to serve well on days like this. You have to win easy points, hold serve comfortably a number of times to put pressure on the opponent. Stan's been serving outstanding so far this tournament. He's served well over 50 or 60 aces, I'm not sure in the exact number. Hitting a hell of a lot of winners, backhand and forehand, and I think he needs to return well in this one, try and put pressure on Zverev, try and bring him out of his comfort zone, try and get Zverev to engage with him, and keep the points short. I'm not sure Zverev will be sucked into doing that, but that's what Wawrinka's best off doing, keeping the points short in this one. We know he's probably possesses more power and more aggression than Zverev. If he can keep them points short, 3 or 4 or 5 shot rallies, then you've got to favour Stan coming into the net, hitting them backhands down the line. For Zverev as well, I think it's important that he has got a plan B. If rallying from the back of the court isn't working for him, can he attack the net more? Can he go toe to toe with Stan? Can he fight fire with fire? Trade backhands? That's something we'll find out tonight, I suppose, but so far he hasn't had to do that this tournament. As I say, he hasn't lost a set, and that could work against Zverev. He hasn't had to use plan B yet, whereas Stan has. He's had to get out of jail a couple of times. He's had to really change his game style and game plan against Stepi and Medvedev throughout that match, and that might, Stan knows now he's got that confidence in his A, B and C game, which might just get him through this match against Zverev. So how do I see the match going? I see it going the distance, 4 or 5 sets, and I am just going to go with Stan on the basis that he's won 3 Grand Slam titles and he loves playing in Australia. He's got a brilliant record at this Grand Slam, and he's battle hardened. He's beat Federer and Djokovic over the distance at this tournament, and Zverev hasn't got any sort of form like that in his locker. And I just go with I think it's just a percentage call on this one, Stan. It's a safe option, but I say it could go either way. I mean, Stan's spent a lot more time on court than Sasha, and Zverev's looked brilliant so far this tournament, so it's one that really could go either way. But I'm going to tip Stan because of his experience and because of his form in Melbourne. Looking ahead to what will be their opponent in the semi-final, Rafael Nadal or Dominic Thiem. Well, Rafa, he's looked good but not outstanding yet so far this tournament. He played very well against Kyrgios, I thought, in spells. He had a few lows in that match that were quite unsurprising, quite uncharacteristic like games from Rafa, and give his serve away in a couple of the sets. But on a whole, Kyrgios played the match of his life, and Rafa still produced his best tennis in them 2 tie breaks, which got him over the line. I think it's important that Rafa's being pushed. He's shown that he's got some mettle. He's really fighting for this title in Australia. I also think for Nadal, he's carrying a lot more confidence in this hard-court season after winning that US Open last year. He's on a great match-winning streak across Grand Slams, and he's obviously looking to tie up with Roger on 20 Grand Slams, which will take him into the French Open to take the outright lead. So I think Nadal's got a lot of pressure on himself, but I think he's also confident that if he can bring his A game and really lift himself for these last few rounds, that you can lift the title in Melbourne. As for Dominic, I said at the start of this week that I think if he wants to go down as one of the greats of tennis and really breaking that top 3 and start winning Grand Slams, that he does have to start delivering away from the French Open. He's played some outstanding tennis over the years, but never really made a big long run at the Australia Open or US or Wimbledon. And for Dominic Thiem to really deliver and start winning titles, I do think that's something he has to start doing. He didn't start the week in best form. He obviously dropped 2 sets to the unseeded Alex Bold, but I think Thiem, he was always confident in himself that he could come through that one, and he did. And then he did produce his best performance of the tournament so far against Monfils in that last 16 match. Obviously Monfils struggled with that injury in his hand servants, which allowed Dominic into a lot of his service games. He returned very well that match, and I liked the patient Dominic. He quickly realised that Monfils would have to redline the ball. The Monfils doesn't rally very well from the back of the court, and Dominic Thiem just brought Monfils down. He got the ball back in court, and he was just a level above in all aspects of the game. For this match, it's tactically going to be very interesting, because I think both players play sort of similar games on hard court. I wouldn't say any of them are massively aggressive during rallies. I think they're both happy to rally from the back of the court, and they're both not the most comfortable at the net. They've both been serving very well this tournament, and I think this is going to be down to a lot to who takes the chances. I'm expecting tie breaks, sets to go deep, and the two can just take them break points, who can serve on the big moments, who can produce their moments of magic, and that's going to split this match. In terms of picking a winner, it's very difficult. I was looking for who I think wants it more. You've got Rafa on one hand, who's obviously looking to back up that French Open, US Open title last year. He's looking to level up with Roger at 20, and then you've got Dominic Thiem. I mean, what an opportunity this is for him. It's arguably, I was saying, the most important match of Thiem's career so far. I know he has reached 2 French Open finals, but against Rafa, I was thinking the percentage score, he's probably got a 10% match of winning that match against Rafa in the French Open final. Tonight you've got to give him a 35-40% chance. He's got a much better chance on this court. This court suits Thiem more and doesn't favour Rafa as much. So he'll sense tonight is a huge opportunity. He's obviously going to be facing Wawrinka or Zverev in the semi-final, and I think he'll be favoured against either of them with the form he's been bringing to the table. So it's a huge opportunity for Thiem tonight to beat Rafa, beat the world number 1, and advance to the semi-final, and look ahead to meeting Federer or Djokovic in the final. Still on the fence about picking a winner, but I just feel tonight that there's going to be an upset, and I can see Thiem toppling Rafa tonight. I just think, I don't know, I haven't really got a massive reason to say why. I just think it could be Thiem tonight. I think he's been on the verge for a good few years of a breakthrough win and really beating one of the big 3 in a massive match. I think it's going to happen from at some point. I just think he's got to lose at some point in the hard court. He obviously won that French Open, US Open, I keep saying French, US Open in great style, beating Medvedev in the final. But maybe tonight is the end of the run. I anticipate it going to 5 sets, plenty of tie breaks, and I say it's down to who takes them big points, but I am going to favour Dominic Thiem by a hair really. But they're going to be 2 outstanding matches. They're both almost 50-50s. It's very hard to pick either winner, but that's that. I will be bringing out previews of the 2 women's quarterfinals, and then we're on to the semis. We're nearly there now, reaching the very business end of the Australian Open 2020, and this is what we watch this sport for battles like we're going to get tonight. We've got Djokovic and Federer coming up later in the week, and then we're going to have another fantastic semi-final between 2 of these last 4. So thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and enjoy the tennis tonight. Thanks again.